from 15 sittings of parliament without permission in writing of the speaker. This means that it is the prerogative of the speaker to give permission of absence for a member of parliament.
Okay.
Do we have any document to that effect?
Now, just hold it there. At the beginning of this whole boycott by the opposition, which is of course led by the leader of opposition, Mathias Sepuga, these did have different meetings with the leadership of parliament. We understand Right Honorable Anita Among was a bit absent due to, family issues and all that. And the leader of opposition says there was a communication that was official to the parliament leadership. Thank you
very much. I want to respond to that, but let me read this article completely, provision completely. That a member of parliament shall vacate his seat or her seat in parliament if that person is absent from 15 sittings of parliament without permission in writing of the speaker during any period when parliament is continuously meeting and is unable to offer satisfactory explanation to the relevant parliamentary committee for his or her absence. Let's look into this constitutional provision judiciously.
And properly to be able to, of course, now, for the benefit of the person.
This provision one means that for any member of parliament to be absent, there must be permission by the speaker to that effect.
That's right.
What is the fact? The speaker has not permitted anybody to be absent.
Okay.
If any, I need the document on table. Evidence to that effect. Number two, the speaker, now once notices that a member of parliament is absent, can then decide to refer this member of parliament
to a different committee,
to the relevant committee to handle and rule over the report of the committee. You get the point? So maybe that is the next step the speaker is going to do. Now the question here is, opposition is acting political. They are politicizing the matter.
They are
trying to frame the speaker to appear bad in public image as if she's abusing the constitution. I have read for you the constitutional provision.
So according to you, the meetings that were held before similar to...
I'm coming to that. Now, the constitution gives us clarity that it is the speaker to permit somebody to be absent. Now, the question then we need to answer is, the meetings that have been taking place between the deputy speaker in the absence of the speaker, because the deputy speaker was then the presiding officer, and the leader of opposition, what were the conclusions? Did it arrive at a position where the deputy speaker then gave them permission to be absent? If that is there, then we can say their absence is illegal. But for now, their absence is illegality. Though it is based on the provision that the constitution empowers citizens to demonstrate, but then the same constitution is saying if a member of parliament is absent for 15 sittings, continuous sitting, then the speaker can declare that seat of the person to be vacant.
Now, you see, Honorable, this is a point that we need to understand, of course, more and better. And the Constitution does, of course, provide for that. That is under Article 83, just like you did read it out
Article
to the
83.
public. But then, Honorable, with how this law or how these laws are being applied in the public or to the public or even in Parliament at the moment, is this the right way the speaker should have resolved this situation by threatening to take away privileges, all that?
Very good. Thank you very much. Now you are coming to the right lane. Let us agree principally, given the fact and the points of law, that it was wrong for these MPs to absent themselves from parliament without permission from the speaker. I have read the provision of the law. Now the question is, was it right for the speaker to really threaten them to that extent?
And you
to
do
deny for them,
agree he did threaten, she did threaten them.
To deny for them privileges, to deny for them attendance of committee session or travels abroad. My answer to this is that, given her administrative approach, then that should have been discussed by this leader of opposition and the speaker off camera. This is an administrative thing. Now look here, sending somebody abroad, this is an administrative thing. Why do you want to bring it for us? Should we know about it? Maybe attending the committee session, which is something parliament. I said that, or somebody going to canteen to eat. Should we tell the public about it?
Definitely not.
Now, so I agree with a large section of the public that are saying that the speaker should have engaged them than to threaten them. That one I agree with them. So the moral question, my brother, we must answer here is there are 18 Ugandans that are missing. Countrymen and women, I started this conversation by saying this is our only country. If these 18 people missing are Ugandan, the state, the government in charge, which is my government of National Resistance Movement, must account for these people.
And where is that?
The government has capacity. If you can give him 1 minute, the government has the capacity to locate these people, even if they escaped and they are in exile. Then the government should come to the floor of parliament and tell the countrymen and women that Mr. So and so, Mr. Chibalama Johnny Bosco escaped and now is living in maybe Sweden. And we should know that Chibalama is now in Sweden. But when the Right Honorable Prime Minister is saying they are having a Chibalama, and that Chibalama, nobody can come and talk about where he is, then that becomes another thing. In fact, the government is appearing bad in public image for refusing to answer to this demand. And I want to tell you, countrymen and women, demanding, asking for the accountability of the 18 missing people is not asking for too much. And my government, led by General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, should come clean and give accountability to that effect. You know, let's know where these people are. The issue of human rights, we cannot romance about it.
You see now, before you even go to that point already, you know, you're taking us speedy, but let's first just go back to what exactly are the, happenings in Parliament. You as a person who, has been in the leadership of this country, you are an extinguished countryman. Do you dispute the right of demonstration for the members of Parliament and Ugandans?
I want to answer you straightforward. Every Ugandan can demonstrate, but that demonstration should be consistent with the provisions of existing laws. A member of parliament can demonstrate, but then that member of parliament should have written to the speaker.
They did have a conversation with the leadership of parliament.
You see, a conversation must...
And they did make an official communication.
A conversation must have correspondence. Can we have these evidences to that effect? That the speaker granted them absence in parliament and again is coming the other way to contradict herself. If the evidence is not there, don't go with this speculation. I deal with the facts, evidences and points of law, my brother.
And that evidence can also be in what was exactly communicated. Now, because you see, we did see, we've actually been just these past few days, seen the speaker consenting to the fact that they are having conversations with the opposition.
The deputy speaker?
Even the speaker herself. She has made that communication on the floor of parliament.
Now, going back to that issue, my position is this. Parliament is the only legally recognized place where issues concerning people of Uganda is debated or are debated.
And at the point in time, they are saying not to be looked at.
Now look here. If parliament is the platform where these issues should be articulated, why should the opposition discuss them in the corridors, not on the floor of parliament?
Now,
I want to inform you, actually, members of opposition have been going to parliament, clogging in, while remaining on the corridor. So this has become a katemba, a drama, to dupe the people of Uganda that we are demonstrating, we are fighting for you, when people are playing politics. I want to repeat this. We must not play politics on the issue of human rights. Human rights is a fundamental issue, that it's the basic thing, inherent, God-given. Nobody should try to pretend on it to either give you or to deny you. So the point here, the objective issue here is the issues about the missing 18 people who are countrymen and women must be debated on the floor of parliament. And therefore, the leader of opposition should invite back members of opposition if they're interested in discussing this issue and discuss it on the floor of parliament so that records are kept in Hansard.
Honorable Matua, you closely watch the proceedings of parliament.
Very.
On several occasions, ever since last year, you've seen how the opposition has tried to front and table the matter of the 18 missing, even the other people that were missing. They've tried to discuss this matter on the floor of parliament. Yes, reports have been said they will be brought. Reports have not been brought. It is now about 2 weeks ever since they promised government to bring a report about the 18 missing people. It has not been brought. Do you want them to sit and let things happen?
Thank you very much. In fact, using that to articulate their position on floor parliament gives them merit. In fact, using that to justify that the government is unserious to that effect.
So you want them to continue speaking without acting?
Let them use the provision, let them use parliament, the sessions they have in parliament, to discuss this issue, to debate this issue.
They've done that.
To arrive at a resolution.
They have done that
severally. Now, they left before the period which was given for government to come and present the issue. Now they are not in parliament. So to whom will the government answer?
Now they were given up to 19th of that was this month. It is now the 28th of the month.
They boycotted the left session before.
No. That was even when communication was passed that the people supposed to be bringing that information, particularly the Minister of Security, the Minister of Internal Affairs, all these would be on official duty outside the nation. And of course, what else do you think they would have done to address this issue?
Very good. Thank you very much for
asking. Because you're saying
me a right question there. I need to provide you immediate answer. What else should they have done? The opposition should have filed for habeas corpus for these people.
They've done that before.
Where is
their lawyers have filed for habeas corpus?
Where is the court order that has been neglected?
Horrible.
If court order has been neglected, their courts. Why don't the opposition run back to the court to accuse the government of contempt of court?
Now,
what I can tell you is that, by and large, the issues over which opposition people are boycotting are legitimate. Let us agree. 18 missing Ugandans is a legitimate issue. The issue of the land grab in northern Uganda is a legitimate issue. The issue of fishermen and women being mistreated in the lakes, legitimate issue. But the approach to it is illegitimate. It's false.
According to you.
Can we come back to the normal lane? Can we use normal frameworks to deal with this issue? Can we take politics away from this issue and deal with the issues objectively? Now, that is my call.
Now, Honorable, at the start of this conversation, you did give a preamble, and in your preamble you said or mentioned that we need to take Uganda the way it is and understand our country to be able to, of course, deal with the problems we have. Now, you've been in Uganda for quite some good time. You know how issues are handled in the country. Is there any other better way? After, of course, them going to court, filing for the orders of habeas corpus on several occasions for those 18 missing people, the Prime Minister coming out, mentioning a statement which she's, of course, I would say now regretting in regards to Chibarama. With all that happening at the moment, do you see any other best solution than boycotting plenary sittings?
Thank you very much. My brother, I can tell you that the government of National Resistance Movement, headed by General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is very serious about this country. That's why it has fairly managed this country for the last coming to 40 years. You get the point? And the point number 2 of the 10-point program of National Resistance Movement is about security, provide security for the people of Uganda. And I stated here as a cadre of NRM, Intake 2, 2010, as a senior cadre, and as an aspirant for national vice chairman position for Northern Uganda, Central Executive Committee, that issues of the missing 18 people are very important, and the government must account for these people. So the government is very serious about it. In fact, the Minister for Security, Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Muhoozi, we are out, and they said the report was ready, and they were willing to come and table it.
If they are willing,
then opposition should have asked government. We have Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. They are ministers. There is Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General. We have a Prime Minister with her deputy. So we have responsible government leaders who should be able to give that report in the absence of the Minister for Security or Minister for Internal Affairs.
So you're faulting government for failure to table that report?
I am faulting the government for failure to table the report. However, opposition should use parliament to insist, then push the government to the wrong side.
Their actions are still within what is happening in parliament. And
what is happening now is the katemba, is the playing politics, or using the opportunity of the missing 18 people.
Now, Honorable, let us move away from what is happening and look at what this that is happening is going to be, bringing about in the near future.
In the near future.
Yes. One, with all this, happening and all that, at the moment, where do we see, Parliament's, I would say, maybe performance with the opposition not being in Parliament?
First of all, for Parliament to do very well, there is the need for harmony. What we are seeing now, the harmony has been seriously injured. and it is very, very bad for this country. I told you this parliament is the only arm of government within truly national representation. So the people in those constituencies where these opposition MPs are represented are not being given opportunity to be represented. This is very bad. Petroleum Amendment Bill was passed without them. That was an important bill. Now we are discussing judiciary bill, and these people are not there.
Okay.
So who is representing the views of those Ugandans in those constituencies? I said this is their country, their only country. I've seen that. Are you now seeing the negative consequences? Yet we have some very good brains in those opposition camp. I can mention for you the Honorable Method Segona. These are some, outstanding lawyer. I said that. So these are people who should be, debating these bills. Imagine a bill being passed without the contribution of the Honorable Method Segona. That bill could be lacking without the contribution of the likes of this Bugiri man. Honorable Asmani Basalirwa, who are very fine lawyers, senior and to the point with parliamentary procedure and what have you. So these are the negative consequences. So the next future I'm saying is that one, this thing it is washing down the credibility of opposition.
Okay.
So
and how about the ruling
the government will think it can transact business in the parliament without opposition. Now that's very, very dangerous. What if the government brings in a bad law?
And is government capable of doing that?
What do you think? If the person who is supposed to challenge you is not there, and it is a football game, you can even score using a hand.
So that means you don't consent that NRM could be using this opportunity to pass bills that do favor them.
You see, there is the NRM, which is the party. There is the NRM government. Then there is state.
Literally, I would
say
that
are different. You get me?
How different are they?
I'm telling you, they are very, very.
The leader is the same.
Different.
The leader is the same.
The party is led by the Secretary General.
Okay.
Ladit Richard Odwong. I see that. The government is led by General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
And all these are fronting the ideas of the same person.
No, so my point here is that government should be mindful of the image of the country. The whole thing is blackmailing the country. We don't need it. We don't need it, my brother. We are heading for major conferences, major conventions in Kampala here.
Yeah, that's in January.
Yes. So we should not try to wash down our credibility in terms of democratic credential.
But do we have the democracy that
we do?
Boast of?
We do.
With what is happening?
We do. We elect our leaders every 5 years. True or false?
Does election...
Now, the opposition MPs who boycotted, how did they come to parliament?
Now,
we are they nominated by King, isn't it? No.
Mr. Matua, I'm going to come to that. But first answer me this question.
Yes.
Is the NRM using this opportunity to pass or even front different bills that could be in their favor? What is the government?
In the absence of opposition, anything is possible. I cannot rule out that. For example, we have already passed the petroleum bill without the contribution of opposition. I said that the petroleum amendment bill, the bill we passed to give UNOC the monopoly of dealing with the fuel importation. That bill has been passed. So we don't know the other views. Opposition would have given the good views. Now we can count that this bill has been passed without the contribution of opposition. That is the negative. In a democracy there must be checks and balances. So existence of countrymen and women, existence of opposition in the parliament is not just any romantic thing. It is a constitutional provision, my brother. It is the constitution that gives the mandate for opposition to be present in parliament. And the purpose is to provide checks and balances for the ruling government. Because we know governments world over can choose to do wrong thing when there are no checks and balances due to the interest of individuals in government.
And this should be, of course, at the notice of the speaker. I should say, right?
In terms
the speaker should be aware that ought to happen, where the government can be, passing bills.
I can tell you the issue of contention. And not even involved in the parliament.
You know why I'm saying this, or why I'm bringing in this, is that, I want to ask you this. With all this and the speaker being the leader at the helm of this body, which I would say particularly, represents people of Uganda countrywide.
Yes.
Should we now sympathize with the speaker for failing to get the situation under control?
The speaker has not failed. This is what I can tell you.
But we're seeing threats being
issued.
Instead of resolving the situation.
Honorable Mathias Mpuuga attending the Appointments Committee of Parliament, which was chaired by the speaker.
And that was after
was he expelled?
Now, question is, just hold it there. Question is, that is after the speaker did pass directives, and of which even them that did pass them are not following them.
Actually, what I can tell you is that the attendance of Honorable Mathias Mpuuga of that session tells you that maybe he has reformed. He has come back to his senses, and maybe he has informed the speaker that
reformed without other people returning to Parliament?
Since there was no plenary yesterday. So we hope that today he will be in the plenary.
Mr. Matua, I want us to handle these issues, just like you said in your preamble, the way they are.
Yes.
Let us not run away from the reality. Now, you know that opposition members of Parliament are not in Parliament at the moment.
Yes.
Yesterday, that is in the Appointments Committee.
Yes.
Lop did attend. In the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee,
yes,
we did see Honorable Robert Sisitoko being chased out.
The MP for Bamunanika constituency.
Now, there is also another committee that did happen, and we did see a member of NUP, attending.
And
we did see communications.
And was not chased.
Listen, we did see communications from different heads of different committees, particularly the Deputy Chairperson of the Disciplinary Committee of Parliament, saying they do not recognize the threats of the Speaker. Now, does this ring a bell in your mind about the failure of the Speaker to bring this situation under control?
One, I can tell you that the Speaker has not failed.
Because we want to know that as a country and understand this.
Why am I saying so? I have to give you full backup to my assertion, to my statement, my position. I said yesterday, Honorable Mathias Mpuuga attended Appointment Committee chaired by the very Speaker. Did the Speaker expel him?
But
maybe the Speaker has reconsidered, has thought twice.
So you are admitting that was a bad decision made by the Speaker?
Then there was a Honorable Fox Odoi expelling Honorable Robert Sisitoko Bamunanika constituency. Maybe that could have been oversight or overzealousness on the part of Honorable Fox Odoi. My position is these MPs should be transacting parliamentary businesses.
So it was quite wrong for the Speaker to, give that directive that they would be
I don't support that directive. However, there is also one thing which we must notice here. What is it? These MPs we are going to clock in, signing that to register their president, but remain in corridors. And the Speaker has this detail. Has seen that? So what to you and the countrymen and women, was that not hypocrisy on the part of the MPs? If I choose to boycott, then let me not even appear near the Parliament. What are they going there? Even somebody goes to eat in the canteen, you eat there, and you are around, even address media on the premises of the Parliament, and then you say I'm boycotting. Then you go to the committee.
Don't they have a right to be?
So what was to be very precise
around the premises of Parliament?
What was the essence of the boycott of only the plenary when these MPs we are doing other things? What was the essence?
Maybe let's look at it.
Can we answer that question?
Let's look at it in the sense that
what was the essence?
They tried to front their issues on that is in plenary, which is of course literally where different discussions do happen. In fact, the main discussions do happen at the plenary sittings in Parliament. Now, with them boycotting this, they say they want to put out their message specifically to the leadership of Parliament.
Well, granted that they wanted to put up their message, why didn't they completely avoid Parliament? The question I'm asking is, why should you only dodge the plenary when you are there in the committee? You even come and sign as if you are entered for the plenary, and then you remain in the corridor. You are there eating in the canteen, free food of the people of Uganda. The taxpayers' money.
They are also Ugandans.
They are Ugandans, yes, but
and they pay
me
taxes.
and you are paying the taxes.
They are also paying taxes.
Now the tax, they should not own it because they are also Ugandan. The tax must have accountability, which accountability is the duties they discharge as MPs. You get the point? So my point here is the Speaker should allow MPs to engage in parliamentary businesses. The leader of opposition must call back these MPs to plenary. Now here is another contradiction. The official Forum for Democratic Change, headquartered in Northern Nkumbi, addressed the country yesterday and said they are not part of the boycott. The boycott was imposed on them by Honorable Matthias Mpuga, which is the position of National Unity Platform. Beware that in that opposition, there are different parties which are there. We have UPC, we have JEMA, we have FDC. Now there are two camps. FDC Katonga, FDC Najanankum. Now FDC Najanankum, which is the official FDC, known in the electoral commission, said they were not consulted. Now, why should we have, and that's why some of the FDC members are attending the session. In fact, the whole opposition is not boycotting. Some opposition people are boycotting. Now, what kind of ugliness is this? Now, do you know, at the end of it all, this thing is telling us, is revealing, is unaddressing, is unearthing the disunity in opposition.
Is it only unearthing the disunity in the opposition, or also unearthing the unseriousness of the leadership of parliament, of the government?
Let me tell you this. If the leadership of parliament was unserious, it would have gone into slumber. What we call kulambala.
But it is, at the moment it is,
Chavazinga, the language.
And in Luganda they say ukubongota. It seems that, it seems that at the moment, the government is really asleep.
Actually, the government is asleep.
19th, it is now 28th. A report has not been tabled.
Yes.
And they are comfortable.
I said it here and I want to repeat it again.
And yet they are accountable to the people of Uganda.
My brother, I said it here and I want to repeat it again. Countrymen and women. The issues of the 18 missing people, there should be no romance about it. The government must come and account for these people.
And they are sleeping on it.
Which is not true. Which is the false thing we must remove out of it.
Where is the report?
That's what I'm saying. Opposition missed the opportunity to be given the report. Now the government is saying they cannot give the report when the people who are demanding it are not there.
Honorable, I don't want to mislead the people that are watching.
I'm not misleading them.
The report was supposed to be tabled on 19.
Yes.
And when
on
19th
came, of November,
the opposition did make a communication about the report. Government replied, the people that are supposed to be tabling the report or even reading it out to you at the moment,
they were not out. They were out of the country.
Yes, and now you're blaming it. Yes, which was a fact. And now you're blaming the opposition for failure to come.
No, why didn't opposition wait for those people to arrive and then use that to demand that they come and present? And if they refuse, then the leadership of opposition should have written to the speaker requesting for absence of members of opposition, consistent with the provision of Article 83, Clause 1D. So that opposition boycott legally.
So at the moment, if you say that, Honorable Richard Matua, just like I said, to understand the issues of Uganda the way they are,
objectively,
let us deliberate on them in reality. Now, with that happening, with the ministers failing to show up, because this is a serious issue, do you accept?
Now
it being a serious issue, isn't the government sleeping on it? If they can fail to come and address it?
My concession here I can give you is that it is very wrong for government to try to gloss over the issue of the 18 missing people. I repeat, accountability must be given. Even if it was a leg of a person, then the government should account for the missing leg of a Ugandan. You get the point? Even if it was a leg of a Ugandan that got missing and the relatives are looking for the missing leg of their relative, then the government must give accountability to that effect. That's what I'm saying. So the ministers who are glossing over this, please go to parliament. Even if the opposition is not there, give the report to the countrymen and women. It will be in the camera. The people of Uganda want to know where these 18 missing people are.
Okay. Now, as we of course wrap up this part of the discussion in regards to the boycott, what message do we need to pick from this? What are we picking from this? And of course, looking at resolving the situation, what is the way to
Number one, our politics is vulgar. That's the first message. This politics of the winner takes it all is not good. It's not a good democracy. There's a younger man called Nandi something who wrote an article in Daily Monitor yesterday. And I agree with that young man. And Mr. Andrew Mwenda was trying to refer to that article. That anyone interested in a good Uganda should read it. So the picture we are seeing here that our politics is vulgar. This politics where somebody in opposition is seen as an enemy is very bad. Opposition is the provision of the constitution, dear brother. So therefore, the issue of opposition and the government, we must look at each other as the same people of Uganda. We must speak as brothers and sisters. We cannot see ourselves as enemies. We are not enemies. We are just opposing, we are diverging in terms of ideas of the same thing we want to do for the people of Uganda. So what I have seen out of this is that if you're in opposition, you are seen as if you are not a citizen of this country, which must not be, and nobody should allow it. I said that. Number two, we are saying that in a parliament, there seems to be no harmony. Because, you see, parliament is both administrative and then the legislative aspect of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So at the administrative level, the leader of opposition and the speaker and the deputy speaker at the highest level, at their level, there must be some conversation, some rapport flowing for harmony in the parliament than to allow things to descend to this level. This is very bad. You get the point? Moving forward, there is the need to create harmony in that parliament. Moving forward, there is the need to have certain conversation outside before issues descend to that level.
And do we see that happening anytime soon?
It should happen. We should demand for it to happen.
And will we see it happen?
Because, it will happen.
You know, you understand how things are going in parliament.
I am telling you, it will happen.
Okay.
I trust the people in parliament, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the leader of opposition. Moving forward, they should learn from this predicament, this ugly picture, and do things better.
Wow. Honorable Richard Matu, of course, in there, we're still continuing and proceeding with the discussion in regards to what is happening in the August House. This is, of course, I would say one of the biggest arms of government that we ought to look at and, of course, present an example to the nation, to the future leaders of tomorrow on how they should be, of course, taking themselves. Now, Honorable, as, we have a few minutes to wrap up the discussion, but, speaking lastly to more issues to deal with the nation, the opposition is proposing, or there is a rumor in regards to change of leadership in parliament for the opposition at this point in time. Is this the right time for NUP to be thinking about this?
First of all, I am laughing. National Unity Platform is accusing President Yoweri Museveni of not giving power. This is the reality. They are talking about this. It's a fact.
And isn't the president refusing to give power?
Now I am seeing what the late president of the Republic of Uganda, may his soul rest in peace, Benaisa said, "Entebbe Woma." What has been the practice? You know, we began having leaders of opposition in 2006.
Yeah.
When we transitioned from movement political system to multi-party political system. My brother Bruce. We saw the Honorable Professor Ongega Maurice Latigo as the leader of opposition. After 2.5 years, was replaced with the Honorable Wafula Ogutu as the leader of opposition. And after that, Honorable Wafula Ogutu was replaced with the Honorable Nandala Mafabi. After that, the Honorable Nandala Mafabi was replaced with the Honorable Winnie Kiza. After that, the Honorable Winnie Kiza, to me, who was the best of all the leader of opposition. I want to say this unapologetically, that lady, that Kasese beauty, the Mukonjo beauty, the Honorable Winnie Kiza, to me, and in my own assessment, she was the best leader of opposition. Then she was replaced with the Honorable Betty Awol Ochan. A precedent has been set that every 2.5 years, a new person comes in as the leader of opposition. Why can't the opposition respect that precedent? What is the urgency of thinking that Honorable Matthias Impuga is the best of the best that should not be replaced?
You see
what does that speak to? Opposition, no, what does that speak to? Opposition accusation that President Museveni does not want to give power. If Matthias Impuga cannot accept to relinquish the suitable, juicy office of the leader of opposition.
Now, Honorable.
So my position is, I want to answer you. My position is, let National Unity Platform respect that president, the good president FDC said. There are good people in that opposition who can be leader of opposition. Can I mention them for you?
Yes.
The Honorable Medard Segona. Mwanga Chivu, the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, the Honorable Asmani Basalirwa. You get me? Do you want to tell me that these people cannot be good leader of opposition?
No, Honorable.
So first of all, I want to make it very clear. The Ugandans who are out there yelling, trying to brainwash our mind that Honorable Mathias Mpuga is the most suitable leader of opposition. I want to tell them we have reached a point where we must respect presidents, we said. There is that good president which is existing in opposition. No. That after every 2.5 years, we change the leader of opposition. Let that president be respected. National Unity Platform, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu should select another person. In fact, to me, I would even suggest that he selects what? Honorable Kyagulanyi is from Buganda. You get me? Mathias Mpuga is from Buganda. And these are the people who were complaining that the report released by Equal Opportunity Commission was not good and they were condemning the government. Why don't they select the Majinja man, or this Majinja MP, the current opposition chief whip for NUP? Johnny Bosco Nambeshe. Why don't they select him so that the power is shared?
Now, Honorable, yes. I want us to get these things clear. At the moment, yes, it is not clear that NUP has refused to change the leader of opposition.
But the NUP has been ambushed.
Secondly, at the moment, at the moment, NUP is the current leader of opposition.
True.
And not the Forum for Democratic Change Party. Now, NUP has its own strategies. Is it right to force them to follow a strategy that was set by the FDC?
Very good.
Which is a party that we now see in shambles.
You have asked me a very good question. You see, democracy is very interesting in that it gives you a chance to make a mistake or do right things. And opposition, which has been hell-bent in blaming NRM, has been unstripped here on this issue of leader of opposition.
Okay.
I agree with you. The current leading opposition political party in parliament is the National Unity Platform. Very correct. But the president, which has been set by opposition, it is an opposition party, is that after every 2.5 years, you are changed. I told you, my best leader of opposition so far has been the Honorable Winnie Kiza. But she was replaced with the Honorable Betty Awol Ochan, which everybody doubted. But at the end of the day, she delivered. She did something consistent with her capacity. So my position is that let us respect the president, Mr. Bruce Mugisa. Okay. President, by the way, is a law, unwritten law, unwritten rule. There are countries like UK where laws are not written, but presidents are being followed as what? As laws. So please, at least in fact, my advice, my good advice to my friend, the Honorable Mathias Mpuga is that kindly confine to Bobi Wine, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, to nominate somebody, to appoint somebody as leader of opposition, respect that president said. Don't think you are the only person who is good for that position.
Now, I want you to understand and make it clear that at the moment, it is not that FDC did change leader of opposition. That is after 2.5 years. There are some leaders. For example, I'll give you Ogenga Latigo did serve from 2006 to 2011. Then we did see Honorable, that is Winnie Kiza serving from 2015 to 2018. That is about. But Ogenga Latigo did serve for for more than the 2 terms.
I agree with you.
Can it happen?
But that the president was then said when Wafula Gutu came in, then Nandala Mafabi.
But that is also
then
president.
Winnie Kiza, then Betty Awol Ochan. Let me tell you the importance of president. The importance of president, countrymen and women, is to provide for certainty and predictability in our system. Like in NRM, we have a president, a speaker. When we are still in charge, when we are still the ruling party, the speaker serves 2 terms. If you serve 2 terms as deputy speaker, you also serve 2 terms as speaker, and you give way. We saw that with the Honorable, now His Excellency, Kiwanuka second. He served as deputy speaker, rose as speaker, served the 2 terms, transitioned to vice president.
You know, that is clear.
Listen to me. Then the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga came, served as deputy speaker, went to the speaker for 2 terms, and actually in 2016, she used the issue of the president set by the Honorable Sekandi to demand that the party gives her the flag to finish her 2nd term as a speaker. And we all respected painfully, especially those of us who supported the Right Honorable Jacob Olanya. That's why in 2021 we said no. Now the president said that you'll be there for 2 terms. Even when she wanted to go back, we now had to say no.
Is this president
we now had to stand on our ground and respect the president.
Is this president only said when it comes to this?
We wanted to promote certainty and the predictability in our system.
And you know, when you say that, does that one apply to, you know, the position of the speaker and of course exclude other positions?
Which other position you have said that we have not?
The presidency.
What is the president? That's
so, so that is the president you've said.
You just tell me what is the president that we should
change of government.
Change of government. Is that the president you want us to follow now?
So according to you, accept that there should be no change of leadership.
You're a lawyer.
That is for the presidency.
Mr. Bruce,
we are talking about president.
You're a lawyer. If there was a president, he said, I would stick with the president.
So at
the presidential level, we have not seen a president.
So according to you, that is the president that should be set. The president serving for all that time.
Now, what? Let me tell you, I am a liberal democrat with African mind. You take note of that. A liberal democrat with African mind. You get me? What we can best do is to return the term limit in our constitution and respect it. Entrench it. And next time we return term limit, it should be entrenched. It should be made that for anybody to remove it, all the district councils in Uganda must approve of it by 90%.
When should this come into force?
That is why people like me want to go to Central Executive Committee to articulate some of these policies.
And is it possible?
That's why people like me want to go to Central Executive Committee to articulate policies that should bring Uganda together.
No, however much you want it. Remember, the precedent we are following is the preamble you set at first.
Yes.
We know Uganda. Let us discuss knowing that we know the country we are living in. Do you think that proposal that you have in mind can be passed?
That's why we are thinking of the Constitutional Review Commission, where Ugandans must agree, must have a new consensus of the way forward.
But
how we want to be governed.
You know, just a few days back, we did see Parliament's position and the government's position on that Constitutional Review Commission. Literally, it hit a dead end.
Can I tell you something? If the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs is a dilly-dally, MOPs can bring laws to amend the Constitution. In fact, the Honorable Niwagaba Winifred,
the Shadow Attorney General,
the Shadow Attorney General, has been proposing a chain of laws to be amended. Then if the government fails, then they should be given the leeway by the Speaker, and they can do it. That is their duty as members of Parliament. We want laws that bring the country together. You saw the report of the Equal Opportunities Commission.
That's right.
Which shows that actually one part of Uganda is benefiting more than other part. So my position of going to Central Executive Committee will bring policy to address such issues.
Wow.
And finally, before we close, I want to thank the people in charge of Bale Sugar Limited, Uganda Limited. A group of Ugandans have come up, organize themselves, 100% Ugandan-owned sugar factory in Kayunga, which is going to create 4,000 jobs for the people of Uganda. And they are refining what we call pure sugar. They are refining pure sugar. Sugar, the white sugar, industrial sugar. I want to thank them very much, and I want to encourage countrymen and women to support them, consistent with my philosophy of a better Uganda for all.
Very many thanks. Honorable Job Richard Matua for, of course, making some time for us and, of course, deliberating on those issues that do, of course, benefit fellow countrymen. Hopefully, the discussion was,
if you could give me 1 second or 1 minute.
Let's use 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Because we are time bad.
After here, I want to interface with the Right Honorable Speaker on the issue of corruption in Health Service Commission. Countrymen and women, there's a lot of corruption in Ministry of Health, especially Health Service Commission, and the Organization for Transparency and Advocacy which is led by myself, petition the parliament. We want the speaker, we request the speaker to take this thing to the floor of parliament and refer it to the Committee of Health, headed by the Honorable Dr. Ayume Francis and the Honorable Achuti Samuel. And I am ready, and the organization is ready with evidences, compounding evidences.
In regards to that issue.
To make submission. So be prepared for another haughty probe in Parliament.
Very many thanks, Honorable Job Richard Matua, for that discussion. My name is Bruce Mugabi, and of course, we at Time Bad will be calling it quits here on The Daybreak. Have yourselves a blessed day.